After a decade-long investigation and a 10-week trial, the verdict is in. Tasmanian licensed gun dealer Shane Barker was murdered by his in-laws.
The investigation has been complex and is one of Tasmania Police's longest-running murder investigations.
The death has shocked the tight-knit community.
Devastating. The biggest shock I've ever got in a small town like this.
We need it solved.
It's been 200 weeks, 1,400 days since my brother was in a grave.
It's the small town most Tasmanians know.
This is Campbell Town, a popular stopover between Hobart and Launceston.
But for 14 years, Campbell Town held a dark secret. Who killed Shane Barker?
Frustrating for us, frustrating for the community, frustrating for the family.
Someone's got to know something.
Police have announced they're upping the reward leading to the conviction of his killer from $50,000 to a record $250,000.
Shane deserves to have his killer named and shamed and jailed.
Mr Barker was shot dead at his Campbelltown home in August 2009. Despite investigations and appeals, the case turned cold until over a decade later, charges were laid. The accused, Mr Barker's former parents-in-law, weren't brought to trial for another 3 years.
Police have a short list of suspects and believe it's someone they've already spoken to.
Someone out there knows something. It's just a matter of when and where they're prepared to come forward.
Police believe Barker knew his attacker.
Mr Barker's death caused a loud ripple in this usually quiet town. It's a town where most residents know each other, and jurors heard Mr Barker was a well-liked community man. He worked in town and played at the local footy club. Residents were scratching their heads over who wanted the 36-year-old dead.
Tasmania Police has today arrested and charged 2 people with the murder of Campbelltown man Shane Jeffrey Barker.
Cedric and Noelene Jordan were interviewed by police in the weeks after Shane Barker was shot. The court heard the Jordans told lies in those interviews about where they'd been that night, originally saying they were hours away from here at their East Coast home, later admitting they had in fact left Swansea to drive 136 kilometres through Campbelltown to Launceston to buy KFC. One of the 100+ witnesses at the trial was the Jordans' daughter, Rachel, Shane Barker's former partner and mother of his daughter. She was asked about their relationship and separation, including specific concerns she had about him caring for her daughter. Then there was the man Ms Jordan was seeing when Mr Barker was killed. Justin Titley told the court Cedric and Noelene Jordan said a number of times they should kill Shane Barker or hire a hitman to do it. The defence said Mr Titley had made up those allegations. Mr Barker was shot 3 times in the back and once in the chest. The Crown's case was that it was premeditated and committed out of hate. The jury was told bullet casings matching those used in the crime were found under a shipping container on a property owned by the Jordans, but the weapon was never found. It took the jury 9 hours over 3 days to return its unanimous guilty verdict. The Jordans were then sentenced by Justice Robert Pearce to 22 years behind bars, with a non-parole period of 12 years. Here's what Mr Barker's family had to say.
And when you're told that I've been told by detectives we've reached a dead end, but there's no way I was giving up on my brother. And it's, to me it's justice for not just our family, but there's always that chance for other families. Never give in. That's all we can say. And I hope Dad and Shane are up there smiling down on us today.